Coal and oil power plants have been a staple in energy sources for many years. However, they are extremely harmful to the environment. On the other hand, nuclear power is much safer and better for the environment. You're probably wondering why this is relevant to you. Well, we all share the same planet, so it is of equal importance to everyone that we guarantee a safe future for our children and this planet. You may be asking why you should listen to me. I have done extensive research on the use of nuclear energy, and this is evident in the credible sources I reference numerous times throughout the speech. Because of this, I can assure you I am a credible source of information. Allow me to start off by explaining why common sources of energy are harmful to the environment. Petroleum, coal, and natural gas power plants severely pollute the atmosphere. Because of the large amounts of carbon dioxide released in the atmosphere every day, the ozone layer is thinning. This will have detrimental effects on the environment if something does not change. If the threat to the environment does not concern you, the human death should. Scientific American article on coal pollution states that coal kills a staggering number of Americans. An estimated 460,000 deaths in the United States were contributed to coal power plant pollution between 1999 and 2020. Now, we may understand that these power sources are harmful, but how could we live without them? It is a fact that we have become dependent on electricity. Cities would devolve into chaos if they are unpowered for even a week. Civilizations have evolved to become completely dependent on power, so shutting down these power plants is not an option. Don't worry, not all hope is lost, however. There is a solution. Um, the Environment, Science, and Technology article about preventing mortality from nuclear power states because nuclear power is an abundant source of low carbon based is an abundant low carbon source for base power. It will play a major role in global mitigation of climate change and pollution. Nuclear energy creates minimal pollution compared to other power sources. Nuclear energy is safe when done correctly. Since the nuclear disaster in Chernobyl, there's been a lot of fear mongering around the use of nuclear energy. The Global Population Review on Nuclear Energy explains the 1986 Chernobyl disaster was the worst nuclear disaster in history, and is commonly used as an example against the use of nuclear energy. The disaster killed two power plant workers and released high levels of radiation into the surrounding area, forcing tens of thousands of people to evacuate and caused suspected radiation-induced medical problems such as cancer. What people fail to realize is that the nuclear reactor in Chernobyl was poorly maintained and safety measures were not met. A Britannica article on the Chernobyl disaster explains technicians at Reactor Unit 4 underwent a poorly designed experiment. They shut down the power regulating systems and the emergency safety systems and removed most of the control rods from the core while allowing the reactor to continue running at 7% power. These mistakes were compounded by others, and this is what caused the disaster. Greenpeace has opposed the use of nuclear energy for many years because they believe nuclear reactors to be a threat to both people and the environment, while the World Nuclear Association has promoted the use of nuclear energy. A World Population Review article on nuclear energy states that nuclear power has the lowest levels of fatality per unit of energy generated, and hydroelectricity, coal, natural gas, and petroleum all have higher levels of fatality per unit of energy generated due to air pollution and accidents. A study on the prevented mortality and greenhouse gas emissions from nuclear energy stated that nuclear power has prevented about 1.84 million air pollution related deaths and emissions of 64 billion tons of carbon dioxide equivalent since its commercialization in the 1970s. Allow me to paint a picture of what the world would look like if we converted to nuclear power. We can visualize our world running on nuclear power if we look at how France and South Korea have done it. According to the World Population Review on Nuclear Energy, France has the greatest share of nuclear power, accounting for 70.6% of its total electricity. France is also the second largest producer of nuclear power at 382.4 gigawatts. South Korea also relies on nuclear power for 31.5% of its total electricity. The United States has already made a great contribution to global nuclear power. Um, the according to the global population review on nuclear energy, the United States has the largest amount of nuclear reactors in the world at 94 total and generates 800 terawatts of electricity per year. These reactors operate at full power 92% of the time and have generated 1/5 of the United States total power for since the mid 1990s. However, 80% of the United States power is still generated by petroleum, natural gas, and coal, and the United States could greatly reduce its total pollution if it prioritized nuclear energy as its main source of energy. I'm sure this has been an overwhelming amount of information, so allow me to summarize it for you. The world has relied on coal and oil power plants for many years, and this has taken a significant toll on the environment. Mishandlings of nuclear power in the past should not discourage us from converting to nuclear power. If we converted to nuclear energy, we could guarantee a safe future for the planet and our children. I urge all of you to spread awareness about the importance of nuclear energy, and with your help, we can go green. Thank you.